Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I am your host. And joining me this week is one of my go-to podcast compadres, Mr. Levi Fletcher. Levi, how are you doing physically this week, my friend?
Physically doing fine.
Yes.
Emotionally, I'm a wreck.
Me too. Always. That's just forever.
How are you, James? How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm fine.
No one ever asks the hosts, damn it.
No, yeah, exactly. I would love to just they do that sometimes on talk shows, but then the hosts are like, "Oh, like you asked me." It's like if I sat down with Ellen, I'm like, "How are you doing, Ellen?" Like seriously, like just like lean in, and she'd be like,
start open. Don't ever ask me.
Exactly. They'd be like, "And get him off the air. Get him out." She doesn't like to be asked questions. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. I am recovering, as you know, in real life from a cold. So it was good that we didn't have the show to shoot before this, because like a few days ago I was like, so I'm back.
Melty.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm like 90%. So if it still sounds a little weird, hopefully the audio sounds better. I apologize. Last week, the microphone and the camera was the one that it picked up instead of this one. Hopefully this is the one this week, which is our new Yeti microphone. So it should be good, hopefully. Anyway, if you're joining us here for the very first time, welcome. If you're joining us for the 149th time, welcome back. Thank you so much. We like to talk about movies, games, TV shows, music, entertainment, theme parks, pretty much anything like that. Let's start off with something that, Levi, I know you're not as familiar with. I'm relatively familiar with. We got a new trailer for John Wick 3 or John Wick Parabellum. Now, Levi and I looked this up because I didn't know what Parabellum meant. It is a type of semi-automatic pistol or machine gun. Sounds kind of fun. Now, before we jump into the trailer specifically, Levi, tell us about your history with this franchise.
Zero history.
Perfect.
It's available to me. I can watch it at any time. I just need to do it.
You haven't seen the first one?
I have not seen the first one. I know that there's something about like he gets a dog dies, spoiler, and then he goes on like a killing spree, which I'm like, is this movie about Jimmy or is this
it's they made it for me. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but I like Keanu Reeves, despite what people say, so I'm interested in it.
I think Keanu gets bad rap, a lot of it because of like how The Matrix ended and some of the cheesiness that came with it, but I think there's a love.
Constantine, damn it.
There's a love for Keanu, and I think you're not alone. I think a lot of people
not like that movie, but I love that movie.
Yeah, I think it's Constantine. I still haven't seen Constantine. I think I've seen bits and pieces, but I should. But I like Keanu. He's good. But yeah, so basically you basically nailed it. For anybody who hasn't seen the first John Wick, I hate to spoil this for you, but basically his wife passes away, and he used to be an assassin. He was nicknamed Baba Yaga, and he was kind of like the, I don't know, is that like the term for like the ghost witch or something like that? But basically he made problems go away. And he gets a puppy from his wife because she knows she's going to die. I think she has cancer or something. And she ends up getting him that puppy before she dies. And that's he gets it after she dies. And she's like, "Oh, I don't want you to be all alone." So he ends up raising this puppy, and it's super duper cute. And they have this life together. And unfortunately, at one point, he goes out to get some gasoline, and he pisses off some guys, or some guys want to steal his car. And they happen to be like the sons of like a drug lord who lives nearby. You know, that happens. And then they come to his house, they break and steal his car, kill his puppy, and basically leave him for dead. And then he like freaks out, and he goes on a killing spree, as you do. And the mob boss owner is like, he finds out who it is. He's like, "My son, why did you do this?" He's like, "Do you know who this guy is? He's like the greatest assassin on the planet." And he's just like, "I'm sorry, Dad." So that's basically the first one. And then the second one is a little bit more in the world. I won't keep going on to kind of ruin that. But 3 kind of picks up with the events of what happens in 2, and John Wick kind of on the run now from all the assassins on the world or who are after him. So, Levi, you're looking from the outside in. What do you think about this? What are your feelings? I know you shared a few with me off camera, but how are you feeling about this just as a newcomer?
Well, I learned my lesson last time not to judge, your taste in action films as too meatheady, because I learned a valuable lesson there, and I, won't forget it. So I'm going to give this an honest shot. But it looks cool. It looks fast paced. Kind of looks like a hack and slash kind of game where kill as many guys as you can right in a row. I just see him like whipping knives and shit at people. And so.
Yeah, if you ever have a chance, what they've done in the past is they've like recorded Keanu's kind of weapons training for this because he actually does pretty much all the own stunts, and they try to do a really good job of doing one take shots when the action's happening. So he knows how to fire and shoot all these guns really quickly, and he'll like shoot like an assault rifle, drop it, grab a pistol, shoot a guy, and like he'll throw a knife, but it's all like as practical as it can be without him actually killing people. Like he trains to do it with real weapons. So that's why it feels so authentic when he's fighting. And I hope you got that from the trailer. Like he kind of throws that gun and it's pretty realistic, quote unquote, as it can be, as long as you add the guys with katanas on the motorcycles and stuff, which is like, oh, they're coordinated, those guys. That felt very comic booky to me. I was like, oh, they all got their
when
katana.
People hit people with guns in movies, to me it never seems like it hurts a lot, but I mean it hurts a ton because it's a heavy freaking machines.
That's true. Yeah, I guess we don't see that very often, but you're totally right. Or they somebody throws like a magazine at somebody's face. You're like, oh, that would hurt.
Pistol whip someone and like
yeah, but they're known for their action in these movies. The story's pretty interesting. There's kind of this like underground world of assassins and stuff, and this kind of code of honor, and it's something that's kind of fun to get invested in. And I'm excited to see where this one goes. But yeah, I don't know if I'll see it in theaters though. That's the weird thing about these movies is like they're so intimate and kind of small scale that I don't feel bad watching them at home. Like, I'm sure they're really good in the theaters. Don't get me wrong, for all the John Wick fans who are just yelling at me right now. But I feel like at the same time, you could watch this on any screen and it would still feel good because they don't go too insane with the action. It's never like too unbelievable. So that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, Mission Impossible, side note, by the way, I was talking to a friend today I was having lunch with, and she said like, has there been any better ones than the first one? And I was like, oh my God, what Mission Impossible Fallout, like Mission Impossible 6. She's like, they made 6 of them.
Pays
I was
the
like,
check and leaves.
I was like, yeah, I was like, are you kidding? You haven't seen these? And she's like, yeah. I was like, when's the last time you watched Mission Impossible 1? And she's like, maybe when I was like 10. I was like, that doesn't hold up. I was like,
who's your friend, huh?
she's an old high school chum of mine, married though. We're just pals, just platonic. Okay. She's a business friend of mine. But yeah, I was like, you got to watch freaking Fallout and Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol. You're killing me. But yeah, Levi, not maybe Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol levels, but John Wick's up. It's pretty good. Like I'd recommend it. If you like the whole spy game, it's like that, but just way more killing. Not as many like Keanu jumping off a building.
Is John Wick 2 like Taken 2, where it's like you got all the good shit in the first movie and they don't really need a second one?
Nope. The nice thing about 2 is that what it does is it takes the first one and expands on the world in a big way. And they do a lot more interesting things with it. The first one's very kind of isolated to the event of him kind of taking revenge on this mob. The second one is about him like kind of getting back in the game and kind of getting involved in the assassin community once again and seeing other assassins and how all of that works. So it's actually pretty interesting and decently different enough. But Keanu is just excellent. I love watching him as this kind of like broken man who is just terrifying and everyone's kind of afraid of him. Even other assassins are like, I'm going to try to kill you, but probably won't happen. Yeah, Keanu's great, man. Anybody who doesn't like Keanu Reeves, man, you just pause this podcast. You go on and watch a movie and you come back and you tell me after you watch Constantine.
It's just action movie sequels always make me nervous. Like after like Taken 2, because you're like, how many times can you get freaking Taken?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's kind of like Equalizer. I feel like with these guys, with these older actors, and Taken really started this whole thing where they have like an older actor who can do some of these stunts. And it doesn't have to be over the top. But we're like, oh, it's so cool to watch this old guy do it. Yeah. I feel like the whole Taken thing went out of control. Now they've got like a TV series I see on Netflix. I'm like, it's about his past, which I get, but I'd rather have that be a prequel movie. Like it doesn't have to be him. It doesn't have to be Liam Neeson.
No hate on Liam Neeson. The man is awesome. He's a god in the acting world. He's Qui-Gon. But he doesn't write these movies, so they're getting a little far-fetched.
Yeah, and just like in the third one, I didn't see it, but there was one. I was watching a video about it.
There's a third one?
Yeah, there's a third one, and he jumps over a fence, and there's like, it's like 6 or 8 or 10 cuts or whatever. Like there's so many edits in that movie because it just is bad. It's just poorly done. I haven't seen Taken 3 because I was like, why did they keep?
I think he gets taken 3.
I think he gets taken, and his daughter has to save him. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. But it's not. Don't worry, it's not like that. It's not like that. I get where the vibe comes from, but it's not that way. Yeah. And besides, Keanu's cool, and we've got freaking Lawrence Fishburne there. It's great to see them back together. It's so weird to see them interact and not be Neo and Morpheus. Because in this one, Lawrence Fishburne plays like this guy who's pretty cynical, pretty jaded, kind of like a weird oddball. And so him talking to Keanu as John Wick is so weird. It's like you want him to be giving advice and being nice and stuff, and he's kind of a jerk to him. It's like little Matrix reunion there. I wish they could get them all back, man. Get them all back in there. Yeah. But we have to do this, even though you haven't really seen these movies. After this trailer, hypeometer. Give me that hypeometer, John Wick.
I give it like a 7 or 8. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like I've never seen it before, but the trailer looks really cool.
Yeah,
so, looks fun.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Probably that 80 or so. 8. Mm-hmm. I'm also excited to see Halle Berry, which you said before this. You're like, does she or Keanu age? Like, I feel like there's an elite group of actors that just don't age. Like John Stamos, Jennifer Aniston is like, they all made a pact with the devil. They're like
Illuminati. It's real.
Yeah, and I saw like a GIF of her German shepherds and her like running under that table and shooting and stuff on Twitter. I was like, what is that? And then I was like, oh yeah, I think it's in the trailer for John Wick. And I went back and watched it. I was like, oh, that little bit at the end where they're fighting and stuff, and she's working with him. I was like, that's really cool. Like, I like that. I'm just this franchise is kind of
first movie in the franchise.
I believe it is. I think she could have shown up in 2 for a brief little bit, but it wasn't like they weren't like partners like they are in this one. And I don't remember. She could have been there. She could have not.
I'm like, is this getting too Mr. and Mrs. Smith? But
oh man, I liked Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Wait, is that the one with Brad Pitt?
Yes.
And which is the one with Will Smith?
Wait, with Will Smith and
there's like 2 couple movies that are like assassins. There's like one with Will Smith and his wife, right? And then there's one with like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Who's the Will? What's the one with Will Smith?
I don't know, but like
the ones that I know of are the Killers, where you've got Ashton Kutcher and 27 Dresses, and then you also have Night and Day, which is my boy Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. Which Night and Day way better.
Killers. So I'm thinking of the Brad Pitt one.
Yes. What's one with Will Smith and his wife? Are they assassins in a movie?
Yeah, I thought that.
Holy crap! I want to see this movie. That sounds great.
I know.
You're not talking about like After Earth, are you? Ooh, it's probably not that. It can't be that one. Will Smith. Why? What was her name from 27 Dresses? I can't think of her name. She was in Roswell, I think.
Oh, The Pursuit of Happiness. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the one. He's an assassin.
That's the one. Yeah.
He's like, I'm pursuing the ever-loving dollar. Yeah. Heigl? Jennifer Jessica. Do you know who I'm talking about? I don't know. This podcast is getting derailed on names alone.
Okay.
How dare they? Yes. Anyway, no, it's not getting Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Even though I did like that movie. It was kind of fun. Yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited for this one. Again, I don't know if I'll rush out and see it in theaters. I don't know if anyone here who's listening to us is like, man, I gotta see this movie in theaters, or if they really love John Wick. I always think it's funny when a sequel comes out and they call it Chapter 2. It's like, you didn't call the first one Chapter 1. So it's like they had to see if it made money first. Mm-hmm. But hopefully there won't be any dog violence. They had plenty of that in the first one. They didn't have it in the second one, thankfully. Not that I recall. Hopefully they won't have it in the third one. But if the German Shepherds are attacking people, kind of worried. So
they'll be fine.
I hope it's fine. But I like the song choice too. I really do. I think it was a little Frank Sinatra there. I was like, oh, this is good. And like it was very like trailer, like classic action trailers, like boom, 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 boom. Like you show a bunch of things. And you commented on this before. This could just be an episode about trailers if we wanted, but like they do these stinger things before trailers now because they want to keep your attention. So they show like a 5-second clip of like the coolest stuff in the trailer. And then they're like, all right, now here's the trailer. For everybody who wants
I noticed
to watch,
that for Spider-Man. I was like, what?
They do it all the time now. Every trailer company does it, it seems like. And it really bothers me because there's a moment where I forget his name. Ian McShane, the guy who played Blackbeard, but he's the guy who goes, here we go, or whatever. He says that in the little clip there, but then he says it again in the trailer, and it seems so redundant. You're like, oh,
it's so weird. I'm seeing that dude pop up everywhere now. Like I just saw him in Game of Thrones, and I remember him from Pirates, and then I remember him. What did you just say? Yeah, and now from this trailer. So, and then there's a show on Netflix called like Gods or whatever.
Oh, American Gods?
Is that American Gods? I'm like, what the heck is that? I'm seeing him everywhere now.
Is that on Netflix?
And then maybe not Netflix, but I
Okay,
saw it on
I wanted to watch
somewhere,
it. I heard that was good, and I don't know what the story is, but in my head, it's like Greek gods, but it's Americans' version of what our gods would be.
Mhm.
Whatever. Is that what the show is about?
I don't know. We'll have to check it out.
I'm interested in it. I
So
heard the season 3 is
Lifetime
coming.
something. I think it's Lifetime or
I heard season 2 was having issues because like the
American
creator was
Gods.
stepping in a lot, and it was having like problems like with that. It was like, oh no, because I heard it was good. And I don't want it to be ruined. Yeah. Either way, that guy's popping up everywhere. I feel like some of these older actors are just like showing up all over the place, and you're like, all right, good on you.
Stars.
Yeah, Stars. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, I want to watch that. That sounds good. Anyway,
Flex.
moving on. Moving on to the world. Yes. But yeah, John Wick season 3. No, John Wick, volume 3 or chapter 3 or Parabellum. Which I wonder if they'd make any more after this one. I don't know. I'd heard that there was those rumblings of a John Wick TV series, but it was going to be maybe set on someone else in the world of John Wick, like the other assassins, and maybe he would make a few cameos. I don't know. It kind of sounds like when they did what was the one with Bradley Cooper, Limitless. People really liked that show, and he was like in the first episode of it, and it was that one where like you took the drug and you could like use your entire brain, which
Bradley
interesting
Cooper
concept.
was in the show.
I think he's in the very first episode, and I think he produced it too or something. He wanted that show.
I didn't know that
good.
they made it into a show. I mean,
They
I think I did know
one
that,
season.
but
It's on Netflix, and people were. It was one of those shows that I think got way popular once it came to Netflix, and then it's like,
too late.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Netflix is trying to make like big splashes and moves to be like an actual big movie producer. They like
Mhm.
are trying to get inducted into all that stuff with Hollywood, and it's like, oh my gosh, like they're making a play for it. Like,
They've
good
got
on
some
you.
really good original shows. I just started watching a show called You, and it's really dang good.
Is that the Stalker show?
Yes, yeah, it's actually a really good show.
I don't know if I want to watch that, man.
Watch the trailer, man.
I did. How can that be more than one season? That was my question. I was like,
yeah, I don't know either, but I guess there is. They're gonna make another one.
I was like, okay. It seemed like a movie to me. I was like, okay, get like a
Yeah,
movie
and
out of this.
it's not bad quality, so it feels like a movie. Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of movies, Levi, I'm going to do something here today because Joe isn't here. Talking about a little franchise, little film saga that you love very much called Harry Potter. Now, today, we're going to make you do something you might not like to do. Maybe you already have it ready to go.
You're gonna make me list them.
I'm going to make you rank them. Yes.
Oh, God.
From worst to best. And we
all
have
of them
to
are
agree.
worst. None of them are best. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Are we including Fantastic Beasts here?
I was going to ask you that. Do you want to include Beasts?
No, because they're all at the bottom.
Well,
just like
okay,
Johnny
but which
Depp
one's
career
worse?
now.
Is it the newest one?
What?
Would you say the newest one is the worst one?
Yeah.
That one's
As far as story wise.
okay, but this has to be all encompassing. It can't just be story wise.
No, let's not include Fantastic Beasts. I don't want them touching each other. It's like Thanksgiving dinner all over again with my mashed potatoes and turkey. Okay. The best movie.
No, we got to do the worst one first. You have to start at the bottom of the barrel.
The Half-Blood Prince.
Why?
God. Why do people breathe? No, just kidding.
I just
didn't care for it. It's a very drawn out book, and it's a very drawn out movie too.
Okay.
It just really connects to the final one. They could have just skipped it and probably just done, Order of Phoenix and then got straight into last two parts. But
let me ask you this: do you think it's worse than Order of the Phoenix, though?
No, I like Order of the Phoenix.
What? Why do you like Order of the Phoenix?
Because it introduces the Order, and I think that's really cool. I like Tonks.
They suck, man. They get off. they're not good.
They do. Order of Phoenix just sets a different tone, I feel like, for the Harry Potter films, because that's when it becomes a much more darker series.
I'd say that started with 3.
Yeah, it started with 3, and then at the very end of 4 is when it really cemented it. And then I think end of 4 and then going forward, then it was super, we've crossed the realm into
the beginning of 4, they kill a caretaker. That's pretty dark, right?
Yeah, but you don't really see anything. You just see a flash of light,
They're like,
a little kid walking. They're like, oh, he's okay.
3 and 4 are dark, man. I don't know what you're. 3 is
yeah. 3 is dark.
Isn't that's when you find out the freaking
I feel
Wormtail
like
was
for
a
some reason
man.
for me, 4 is not as dark because of the Triwizard Tournament. Like
Okay.
that kind of takes away from like the real conflict.
Yeah, because that one's more about like who's Harry taking to prom?
Yeah.
Which is
It's
great.
really funny. The series is like, oh, this bad guy Voldemort, and then like the fourth one's like, we're gonna do an Olympic game. Like,
I wish Dumbledore would have just said like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't do that this year. Well, this is before Voldemort was like straight resurrected. Like that's why it worked, because if they did it afterwards, people would be like, it seems pretty dangerous to put all of the wizards and witches in one place, like post Triwizard Tournament. Also, Victor Crumb in that one, I always thought of as being way older. And then when he comes to Hogwarts, I'm like, okay, maybe. And then when he starts dating Hermione, I'm like, this is getting weird.
Yeah, it was
like,
getting weird. Yeah.
It's like, this is weird. Okay, sorry. Bottom. So you're saying Half-Blood Prince.
You think Order of Phoenix is the worst? Really?
Yeah.
I love that part at the end, though, when he's shooting the glass at Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's like, it just all turns to dust. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that fight is great, but it lasts all of like 4 seconds.
True.
Right? And this is after the parts. Is that after when they get the first or the necklace or whatever, or they go looking for the necklace and they get like Dumbledore drinks all the water? Isn't that in the same movie?
Dumbledore drinks all the water.
Yeah, no, 5.
Dumbledore drinks all the water in 7 part 1.
No, it's before that.
They don't start hunting Horcruxes till like the 7. Yeah, till like the very last movie, I think. Oh no,
I swear it's before that. I'm sorry.
I think it's Half-Blood Prince that they start doing the.
We're gonna check, because I know there's somebody out there screaming about it. They're like, they're called the Inferi, right? I think that's what it is.
Who?
Yeah, the thing that those zombies that they mess up.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Half-Blood Prince, dude. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that quick. Yeah.
Yeah, he does it. So it's in 6 that he does that fight, because
Okay.
he fights Voldemort at the end of 5.
Yep.
For a hot second, because he wouldn't be double dipping in that one.
You know what? No, I changed my mind. 6 is a very big setup movie, in a good way. I would say, Order of Phoenix is probably the worst.
Yeah, because the end of 6, that's when Harry's like, I'm not coming back to Hogwarts. I'm freaking hunting
Dumbledore dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty, I'm getting it mixed up. I think you're right. 5 is probably at the bottom.
By the way, everybody, Harry Potter spoiler alert. I mean, like, why would you be listening to this if you weren't into it? Okay, so you think 5, then maybe 6 right now?
Nope. It would be 5, 7.
Oh wait, which part? 7 or so are we calling it 7 and 8?
Part 1 is garbage. I really can't stand part 1. It just feels super all over the place.
I know some people have been fighting for part 1 recently, like saying it's good, but I kind of agree with you.
I don't know, like, and in the books, it drives me nuts. They're always camping. Like,
yeah, I think that movie's a lot of camping. I like the moment where Harry and Hermione kind of like dance. Like, I like that moment because there's like, it's like super sad, and they have this moment where it's like they're just kind of kids for a second, and then there is also this kind of like look between them that's like, we could be together, but we shouldn't, and it doesn't happen, and it's like, ugh. And then there's that. Is this in this one where they have like that Horcrux shows Ron like them together, like naked? It's so weird. Yeah, it's so freaking weird.
It's super weird.
Yeah, that movie's weird.
It's just a weird film because like it's a setup for part 2, and Ron and his fight is just it's unconvincing, and I just don't care for it as much.
Yeah, and that whole like Ron leaving the group for a while feels very like third act in a comedy where it's like the friend's like, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. I'm like, fine, I never want to be your friend in the first place, and then it's like, we're friends.
I should have prefaced this before like we started this. I love the whole series. Okay, I will find something to love out of every single one of these films. This is like ranking your children. So
that's why I love it. It's so good.
So don't get me wrong. When I say the worst, I don't mean the worst. I mean like if I had to pick.
He means like hot garbage, gutter trash. Like you never should watch it. Forget it. Skip it.
Yeah. So you go Order of Phoenix, part 1, part 2.
Wait, part 2. Wait, you say Harry Potter part 2?
Yeah,
7.
part 2.
Okay,
The
so
only
Deathly Hallows,
redeeming part about that is when she blasts Bellatrix and's like, "You bitch!"
I felt like that was way more, again, maybe because I was reading it, was way more impactful in the book because like you haven't read a swear word in like hundreds of pages. It feels like. And then when Mrs. Weasley's like, "You bitch," I was like, "Whoa, Miss Weasley."
I would say I would say
the fight at the school isn't as cool. There's like a lot of other cool things in there, like McGonagall does, and it's like that fight between Voldemort and Harry though is better than the book.
Yeah,
because in the book, Harry just seems like a bad guy. He like goads him into killing himself, which is like pretty rough.
Yeah, it's weird. The book is really weird. Okay, so we've got 5.
Would you say that
7,
Deathly Hallows, 7 and 8, however you look at it? I feel like the world of Harry Potter falls apart a lot when you get to that point and like Harry's like kind of in heaven.
Yeah,
and stuff like it gets like just a little too weird where you're like, I'm buying all of this, and then it's like,
and that's why it's not. It kind of takes away from the magic for me. So like it's down there on the bottom.
Yeah, that part where he fights Voldemort and jumps off the cliff and the tower.
So so 5, 7, 1, and 2.
I'll say I've got them written right here, just so you know.
Okay, perfect. And then so now it would be
6.
No, I like 6. I would put. Okay, I would put Sorcerer's Stone.
Whoa, do you put? This is where you're gonna put 1 and 2?
Yeah, I'm gonna put Sorcerer's Stone, and then I'm gonna
why?
I'm gonna put Chamber of Secrets first because I don't really. Yeah, it's weird. I don't much care for Chamber of Secrets. I don't.
You're gonna put it first?
Well, I'm gonna put it before Sorcerer's Stone. Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant like first. I was like, what the hell?
No. It's gonna go because I'm working bottom up, right?
I love this franchise, and the one you love the most. I don't care for it much.
Because I'm working from the bottom up, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so then I put Chamber of Secrets.
Okay, but why are 1 and 2 in the middle?
1 and 2 are in the middle because they're introductory films, and 1 and 2 are very, very similar. Like same director, same style aesthetically. Like there's such a big style shift from 2 to 3. They're not bad films by any means, but like they're cheesy, they're corny. They've got those. They didn't age well. I just rewatched this series, and I feel like they did not age that well.
They're children though. That's hard.
Beat their ass.
Okay. Do you know
Hermione? No, I'm just kidding.
Do you know who? Well, she doesn't really look that bad in those movies.
She doesn't, and they're not bad films. Again, like just.
Do you know who directed it?
David Yates?
No, he did later on, but Chris Columbus.
Oh yes, Chris Columbus.
Who also, I believe, directed Mrs. Doubtfire. Which, if you watch those movies, you kind of get like a similar, like jolly, kind of like sad things are happening, but like jolly vibes. You're like,
yeah. So I would go Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone, and then it would go. It's really hard. My favorite movie would probably have to be. Okay, yeah, it's gonna have to go Goblet of Fire and then Prisoner of Azkaban.
Wait, you're putting 3 at the top?
Yeah, 3 for me was when I really, really, really started loving Harry Potter because it started to be so
BS.
Shut up. No, it's
Time Turner.
I like that. I think.
What do you mean you like that?
I love picking these like off-brand movies, and she was just like, "Why would you pick that?" No, it's not off-brand.
Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban is not an off-brand movie.
Okay, it's the Kellogg's.
It's my favorite movie, but it's the off-brand one of the bunch.
Yeah, it's no Fruity Pebbles. It's the Pretty Pebbles.
They give her the Time Turner to Hermione so she could take more classes. Does that seem right to you?
You have to take the time.
Parents were tortured to death.
There are rules on it, so they can't just use it to go back and like save Harry, and they can't just use that later. There's specific rules for it. It's got to be just purely academic, I'm sure.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. And also, why is there only one of these things? And if so, why doesn't Voldemort just hands on that?
I don't know. I can't really choose between 2 and.
Also, we get the horrible revelation that Wormtail, Ron's pet rat, has been a grown man the whole time.
Sitting in his lap. Okay with that. I'm okay.
Not okay.
I do really like 3. I have to say so. I like the introduction of Sirius. I love Buckbeak. 3 is when like the series took on its own. Like you had 1 and 2, very similar, and then they started growing, and like 3 was like very like darker, just started pushing the boundaries more, and the stylistic change, and then like also like I'm trying to think of the word. It became very. I'm trying to say like comparable. What's the word when you're like relatable?
There you go.
Yes. For where I was at in my life with where they were at with Prisoner of Azkaban, just school wise, very relatable. It's like, oh, they're like kids in school, and like it's different.
Sure. Do you think the werewolf is scary?
No, he was designed a little weird.
I think the series is scarier than he is.
The book is much scarier to me.
Okay.
Like in my head, it was a lot scarier on book, and it's also one of my favorite books too, so it's hard.
Sure.
The 4th one is my favorite book by far. Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire could be either one of them could be my favorite.
Okay. Well, Hermione does punch Malfoy, which is pretty great.
I love that scene. Yes.
Good scene. I think we have to look too at our respective dark arts teachers, because I feel like a lot of these ones.
Lupin. I love Lupin. Mm-hmm.
Lupin's great. Moody is also great, even though he's not really Moody, but he's basically Moody. And Moody gets offed so early in 7. I thought like Moody was going to come back. Like in the book when he like went down, I was like, he's got to not be dead, right? He's like one of the best.
Yeah.
And then he's like, nope, he's dead. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, they should have killed him off differently.
I think Lupin is great. I think he's the best defense against the dark arts teacher.
Yes.
I don't know if he has really any competition though. Like go through the years, we've got Quirrell, Lockhart, Lupin, Moody. 5 we get. Is that when we get her?
Who? Oh yeah, Umbridge. Yep.
Umbridge, and then 6 we get Snape.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Umbridge is just easy to hate, but yeah, Lupin's just the best one, right? Like
he's awesome. Yeah, I really like that character a lot.
I think Moody's good, like Moody / Fudge. Barty Crouch.
I like that guy.
Barty Crouch. The guy was right underneath him.
Actor.
But Barty, who I think it is, playing Moody. I think Moody's great in that one because you get a defense against. Who is it?
David Thewlis.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the name. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, David. David, I know you're watching, but David, thank you. You play great.
Anyway.
Yes, he's in Wonder Woman, and he's someone in that movie too. I was like, what movie is he in? Where he's? I'm like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I think Moody though is a really close second because you get a defense against the dark arts teacher, who has got a few layers to him, but he's also kind of sick. Like when he's showing them the unforgivable curses, like the kids are all like,
he's messed up.
Yeah, that's like really dark. And it's like, that's where I feel like 3 and 4 really start to shift into like, okay, this is starting to get like not just kids anymore. Yeah. Dementors. How do you feel?
I really like the introduction of the Dementors. It's got to be Prisoner of Azkaban to me. There's so much creepiness to that movie, and like they add like such a horror element to it, and like a villain element. I love that.
Okay, but like,
Quidditch got kind of pigeonholed, shoehorned into that movie.
Sure.
It was just like it was there for just a second, and I'm like, I want more.
Yeah, I get that. Remember when like the House Cup used to be a big deal?
Yeah,
like kids were really excited about that, and then like when it stopped being cool, it's like when I feel like Slytherin or other houses started to win it. Gryffindor's like, I don't care.
In the book, you still care about it, but in the movie series, they're like, we're just gonna forget about it.
Yeah. Okay, but like 4, the Triwizard Tournament is so cool. Like the dragon stuff alone is really like cool. It elevates that whole series. I feel like in a way that it hadn't.
Out of any series, it's my favorite book. Because
like in 3, you get him riding the hippogriff, Buckbeak, but then that whole movie is all about child endangerment by the teachers or the professors. It is all about that. But 4, like you have Harry like flying, like he calls for the broom immediately, and he's basically just running for his life.
It's
like,
badass.
And that's the first time I felt that like any of them could probably die. Like in the other movies, I was like, oh, there's some scary things, but like this is when he like almost dies immediately. Like he goes out to get the egg, and it's like, oh my god, like what is that thing? But the whole like Moaning Myrtle, like learning how to use the egg underwater and like that it's a mermaid challenge thing. Like that is really cool, I think, too.
Like I said, it's a really hard toss up between the two. It is a fantastic movie.
I wish the Sphinx was in the maze though. They got rid of that. It was just a lot of
but they condensed what was like 1,000-page book to
yeah, that and when you get to the graveyard, that's pretty messed up. I remember that graveyard scene, like reading it as a kid and thinking like really, and the whole like kill the spare and like Wormtail just murders Cedric, and you're just like, oh, he's dead. He just like killed a child.
Like back then, because I knew that they were making these movies, and I remember talking to probably you or like to anybody else in our group, and I'm like, how the hell are they going to make this into a movie? This book, it's huge, it's thick. Like this is the biggest book we've ever read as a kid.
See, that's why I feel like for me, just because I also love that book the most, like you, that's why I think the fourth one is my favorite and it's the most impressive, like the best one, because it's like you took like when it jumped from 3 to 4, like the book sizes literally went from like this big to like a thick. It was like, oh my god, like I'm reading like a thesis. Like
I might have to agree with you that it is the best.
3 is also really good. I'm not saying 3 is bad.
There's some aesthetics things to 3 that I really like as an introduction, but 3 is a close second. 4 is a beautiful movie.
You can you can have your own personal list, but even though I said we had to agree.
No, I do agree with you because it's where it is really where Harry Potter like starts to become like massive. Like it's really where the world starts to really open up.
I love that too. Yeah,
Hogwarts, and you're really like very small. You've got Chamber of Secrets, cool little set piece, but like still in the castle, small. Then you have 3, kind of starts to get bigger. You start to see like the forest, and you start to see
the night bus and stuff,
the lake, and the world. And then 4 is like Port Keys, Triwizard Tournament.
Yep,
there's more than one school.
Yeah. Which, like, if they made these books today, do you think that Durmstrang and Beauxbatons would be like male and females only? Like, is that the whole point of it? It's supposed to be like they're private schools, so it's like, oh, it's just like the guys go here and the girls go here.
That makes sense from like a British point of view. I feel, because like it's very, it was made in Britain, so I mean like that's very.
It's super one note though when you like look at it, because you're like Durmstrang's like, oh, like the boys, and they know how to spin staffs, and the girls come in, they're like butterflies. It's like
there are some. Okay, while this is like a really good movie, there are some cringy parts too. Like,
oh sure, the friggin' ball.
Crumb is cringy. Okay,
Crumb is cringy,
and that song at the ball is the cringiest thing.
The rock song is like, and like freaking
around like a merry-go-round.
Flitwick, who's always changing his look, is like on top of this, like, the crowd surfing. Like,
I can't. Yeah, I can't handle. Oh yeah, just his look does change.
Yeah, because in the beginning it's like he has got the white, like it's white hair down like off the sides. His head balding. I don't know.
I wonder if it's a different actor.
But it's also like wizard, so he could have just then he gets like a little brown mustache and a little brown comb over.
Yeah, I think it is a different. Anyway, so yeah, and that rock song is just the worst.
That is the worst. Here's my question: who like setting up these challenges, especially the one for like the mermaid stuff? Who like watches the students? It's like, oh, Victor Crumb seems to be getting on with Hermione Granger pretty well. I think we should knock her out and like possibly kill her, like, like put her at the bottom of a lake.
The teachers are so intuitive. I feel like it's not hard for them to,
Yeah, it just seems weird that like that's the thing that he like treasures the most at that moment, right? Is her, right?
Yeah, because I don't think they could have paired her, him with anybody else.
Because it's Harry's going after. It's not Ron. Is it Ron?
It's Cho.
Is it Cho? I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry. I know Ron's down there and he has to go save her because, or save somebody extra because. Oh no, it might be Ron and Fleur's sister. Is it Fleur's sister? Down there.
Yes.
Fact check. Did I do it? Was I right?
Crumb is finding Hermione, and then Fleur is finding her sister. Harry is finding Ron. Yep.
Is that right?
And Cedric is finding Cho.
Right? Cedric is finding Cho. That's what it is. You're totally right. I think that's what I'm saying. Yep. Ron, Hermione, Cho, Fleur's sister. Yes, did it. And I like that. Also, they all have like different ways to attack this. I like that Crumb turns into like a shark head, and he like bites the chain, and he like saves Hermione. I'm like, that's really cool.
Yep.
I also really like that in this movie, everybody starts to get really pissed at Harry when it's not his fault, because like everyone's calling him like the legend and stuff now. But like after this movie, I feel like his name, even though it was kind of whispered before, like this was like in front of everybody, and they're like, wow, he like won the thing. He came back with a dead student, and like he's like a true legend, and Voldemort's back. Like I feel like that's when it was like, oh my god, like everybody watch out, hide your kids.
That movie. Yeah.
I will say this though, the dunce hats, which they got rid of in 5, but in 4, when the Death Eaters were like marching around in the Goblet of Fire, like during the what was the name of the Quidditch World Cup? I was like, what? Like, like,
it's weird. The movies got worse, but the books got better.
Did they though?
Yeah, I liked the books. You know, I liked 4, 5, and 6 and 7. I appreciated the books, and I could follow along with them pretty well. But the movies just did not do it for me as much. Yeah,
I'll say this. Maybe as an adult, I would understand this better. But 5, what I hated so much is the pensieve crap. You go back and you watch all these court cases that Voldemort was a part of, right? Or something like that. And I remember thinking, oh man, Dumbledore is going to train Harry to learn some sick, dope spells to fight Voldemort, and he never does.
Nope,
and then in the beginning of 7, it's like, oh, he shot up this golden flame that he didn't know how to do. I'm like, that's going to be the thing that saves him. No, it wasn't. It was like... It kills me, man. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, Dumbledore and Harry's relationship really starts to bother me.
Oh, it's so weird. He's like weirdly, he's like, I'm gonna keep him at arm's length because I don't want to tell him everything. I'm like,
yeah, and he's like almost like he has to die.
And, yeah, but then 6, he's all like, oh, let's go see Slughorn together, buddy. You know, oh, there's that cute girl that you like. Well, too bad she's a muggle.
Yeah, it's a weird back and forth with them.
Yeah. Also, why isn't America included in the Triwizard Tournament? I get it. She didn't make up the America one until recently.
School, is there?
Is there American school?
Is there American Wizard school?
Oh, yeah. That came out, like, she said there was one when Fant Beasts came out. So you can go and you can put yourself in one of those houses, which I'm sure are excellent.
Oh, God.
Do you know what those houses are, Levi?
What are
You're
they?
like, I didn't even know they existed.
I didn't even know they existed, no.
I'm going to look them up really quick.
It's going to be like Scriffle Pimp, like Nutter Butter.
That'd be good. Oh, gosh. Is this serious? So Ear of Morny, Ilvermorny, that's the name of the place. I'm so sorry. If you're a Harry Potter fan and you're watching this, I apologize. I'm probably butchering this. Ear of Morny, houses that represent the whole witch or wizard. The mind is represented by Horned Serpent. The body, Wampus, the heart. Puckwudgie, and the soul, the Thunderbird. Others say that the Horned Serpent favors scholars, Wampus, warriors, Puckwudgie, healers, and Thunderbird adventurers. What did I just say?
What is this? Where did you find this?
This is so dumb. I'm sorry. It's all made up. All words are made up.
Houses.
It's Thunderbird is the one.
Thunderbird, Wampus, Horned Serpent, and Puckwudgie.
What's a Puckwudgie? Is a short gray animal with comically large ears.
Puckwudgie, yeah. Ilvermorny is a kind of cool
I guess. The beast.
But Ilvermorny kind of like is too close to the word horny for me. I don't like that.
So it says the beast, which is a distant relative, and this is from Polygon. This beast is a distant relative of the European goblin, which some might remember ran Gringotts and Diagon Alley, uses poisonous arrows to hunt. Why did you name one of your houses after the Puckwudgie? Puckwudgie. Pukwudgie. What the? I just feel like Wampus is like she looked up Krampus and was like, "What do we got?" It's introduced as a kitten. Oh, but it's a panther-like creature that's incredibly fast and strong. Does it have 6 legs? Holy God. Okay. I feel like we went over I feel like she took all these ideas that she had, like the Gryffindor stuff is like, okay, we have a lion, a serpent, a raven, and a badger. And then she's like, let's go nuts with it. Let's take that snake and give it some horns, baby. Like, just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Huh. I think
I had no idea that these existed.
I think the Thunderbird is kind of cool because it kind of plays a little more of an homage to like Native American culture, potentially. Which that's cool, but then it just gets like too, like, call it the Wendigo or something. Don't like just go full into that, you know, don't do this. I don't know. Anyway, that's those are the ones, Levi. I wonder if the Horned Serpent. Yep, it's basically Slytherin. It's the most diabolical of house mascots, which I'm sure I know Slytherin people are listening to this and they're like, Slytherin isn't evil, we're cunning and clever. And I know, guys, don't freak out. All right, she made this up.
This is all made up because the characters from Fantastic Beasts, 3 of them went to school there.
Yeah, they had to do their little like, and that's the thing is if Fantastic Beasts, which I heard 3 had a little bit of a delay that they were going to started working on, but they're going to start working on it. I think they'll probably try to do like, why wouldn't you try to make like Harry Potter in the States, right? Like that's just easy money. I feel like maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, you could.
I don't know. Either way, Thunderbird all the way. I don't know. I'm a Gryffindor, so what do I know? So our ranking right now, as it sits for the films, is number 5, Order of the Phoenix, number 7, Deathly Hallows Part 1, number 7, Deathly Hallows Part 2, 6, which is the Half-Blood Prince, number 1, which is the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you are in the world, 2, Chamber of Secrets, 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, 4, Goblet of Fire. Last ones are kind of a toss-up, seems like. I prefer 4. I know, Levi, it could be any day.
It could be, yeah. It's rough.
Do you like the night bus? Are you a night bus guy?
I do. I'm a fan of that, yeah.
I remember coming into the movie theater and I came in a little late and that's where it started. And I was like, oh, night bus, like screaming. There's like Jamaican like severed head was like, oh yeah, man. And I was like, oh, and it's like starting to stretch.
Really late. You missed like Aunt Marge and everything.
At first, but I have seen it since. So I saw that part is so freaking weird. Some of the Harry Potter like home stuff gets so strange. Like one of those movies starts with him like out on he's like on a playground somewhere. Is that 6?
Dudley's like a gangster.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, that's the ranking though. That's what we have right now. But Fantastic Beasts though, you say both of them.
Angsty in the third one. Like
he's angsty. His hair is getting crazy by that point. In 4, it's like
with the way that like Marge speaks to him, and he just gets so pissed. He's like, "Shut up!"
I don't blame him. He's given up. Fantastic Beasts though, for you, you'd put at the very bottom. You say 2 is worse than 1.
They're both not great. 2's story is very convoluted and overly convoluted.
Yeah.
Ripped out all the heart of Harry Potter and left it bleeding on
all the heart.
All the heart.
Jeez.
And the little heart that they kept in the movie is just because of the Fantastic Beasts.
Sure.
Which is really dumb. Should be more
what?
Should be more lively and like old school Harry Potter, like joyous and
Sure. But you said you like the darker stuff.
I do, but this isn't it.
Okay, you're saying that it's not as good as it once was.
I don't really consider it Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like it's definitely its own thing because it's in the world, but I don't feel like it's hard to really, attach it to the films because it's the reason why Harry Potter worked so well is because they were like kids and,
sure.
People love movies with kids and kids, coming of age. And this is like a coming to rot film, like just kidding.
Coming to rot.
It's not horrid by any means. They're not like, oh my God, it's so bad. They're just not great stories.
Sure.
They're not very interesting. Grindelwald is cool. I like Johnny Depp, but
oh really? You did like him. I was gonna ask 3 questions. How's Jude Law?
Oh great. He's very handsome. I like him. He's very shoehorned though in the movie.
Okay. How is Nagini?
Dumb. Like such a weird I don't understand how she goes from being a good character to the snake that kills everybody, but
yeah, I always like when they take a character that's so small like that and like really flesh them out. in like a way, and I don't want to say this completely, but like it's like if they did a prequel to Solo, like in Star Wars, and like Chewbacca used to be like a human that got turned into a Wookiee, and I'd be like, why? Like I don't care. Like, huh?
You see Fantastic Beasts too?
I know enough about it though, where I was like, oh, they're like Nagini's like her own person now. I was like, what? I was like, the snake?
At the end, they all join him. Like, so they all step through the fire to join him, and the ones that can't step through the fire aren't worthy. But I thought that she would be the one to join him, but she didn't. It was just dumb.
Oh, because she's got to join Voldemort or whatever, right?
Well, no, she stays on the good side.
Oh, they're trying to set it up for 3 so she can like have her fall from grace.
Yeah.
You know, or something. I don't know. Last question. Does it make sense that Dumbledore sent a zoologist to attack this dark wizard?
And even that, like, I don't really feel like it's even an attack. He's like, you know, he sent him to check it out, but I don't know. It's reaching. It reaches really hard.
I love it. I love that, though. You get that.
The movie reaches so hard, especially with all the, like, secret brother shit from Dumbledore.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I was like, I feel like JK is just like too much.
Really, you will be like, you have to like keep a pen and paper and like figure out where everything goes.
Yeah, I feel like that's the issue too. When you have some like, we kind of have that a little bit with like George R.R. Martin, where you have like this big franchise now with Game of Thrones, and he can kind of like manipulate and do things that he sees fit. Like she can, but like with Tolkien and stuff, it's like done. Like he's not like showing up. Like the estate's still there, but it's not like he's coming in. He's like, all right.
Like, by the way, Sauron was gay the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's not like making this like alternate story where he's like, well, did you ever know what happened between Sauron and Gandalf all those years ago? Like, you know, it's just like, why are we telling the story? Like,
and Nicholas Flamel comes out of nowhere, and he's he's doing this like he does this like Full Metal Alchemist shit with a spell, and like it's just real dumb.
It sounds great.
I mean, you should watch it just to see how convoluted it really is.
I will,
because I want your honest opinion of like, what the fuck did I just watch, kind of thing. But
yeah, I'll do it. I recently started both Warcraft and like I don't know why I didn't go back to it. I've got a physical copy, but I also started Fantastic Beasts. I got like a half hour in, and I was just like, oh, I'll watch the rest of it tomorrow, and then I just never did. I was like, I should probably go back and. There's some good in those movies. Like that first one, there's something good about it, but I don't know, man. Like, so would you put 2 under 1 though? Would you say it's worse than 1?
It's hard to say. One story's better.
Oh dear.
But there's also like no story, so that's the problem.
Yeah. See, Grindelwald is interesting to me because I like to think of like the most powerful dark wizard that like came before Voldemort, and like Dumbledore was kind of even afraid of him. And it's like,
and it would have been really cool to see the crimes of Grindelwald, but you don't. You see all the extra shit that you don't need to see.
I wanted this to be like X-Men First Class really badly. I wanted it to be like this. I wanted it to be just them. I wanted it to be Dumbledore and Grindelwald and like their upbringing, and then like their split. Like that was the story I wanted to see. It doesn't sound like that's the case.
No.
It's like, oh, like Magneto and Professor X. Why?
Yeah, you never see Jude Law for more than like a couple scenes, which is really sad.
Jude Law is such a treasure.
And he better be in the next one, because I'll be like, F this.
Yeah, they'll do it. I wonder if it made enough money.
5 are planned. Why?
Oh yeah. Oh, there was a bunch planned. Well, they're doing that with all these movies now. It's like 4 or 5 are always planned. I'm like, what? Let's see what their box office was. Would you like to take a guess?
The Hobbit being 5 films.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Well, no, it didn't do bad. It did pretty well. Yeah. So the budget was 200 million. We usually double that for marketing and stuff. So roughly 400 million. Domestically, it made 158.9 million. That's not a lot, but foreign, it made 491. So it's made over 650. So it is a success. It is. Most of that money came from China, which is not surprising. 57 million over there. That's pretty good. Yeah, man, 43 million in Germany alone. Get on you, Germany. 58 million in Japan? Oh my God, never mind. 58 million in Japan? Japan, you love Harry Potter? You love Fantastic? I love it. I didn't know. That's cool. Wow, crazy. So yeah, a success, so they'll still keep making them. You know, not a crazy success. 650 mil is that's good, but I think Thor like pulled in like 800 something. So just keep that in perspective. Yeah, not saying that is a direct comparison, but this is like that was like one character. This is like a big franchise, and well, MCU is a big franchise too. Either way, 2 hours and 14 minutes. Did it feel long? Did the second one feel longer? I know you've reported this before, but I didn't remember.
The second one was much longer, and because it was just so drawn out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the first one because the first one made 812.5 million, so it's a dip, Levi. It's a dip. The first one was 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it only had 6 more minutes on it. Actually, the second one was shorter. So, yeah, there you go. Is that what you said? I don't remember. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll move on from all this. But again, definitive rankings. You can't disagree with us. I'm just kidding. You should definitely disagree and comment on which ones are best. Once again, they are in this order. See if I can remember the names before I just say them. Order of the Phoenix, Deathly Hallows Part 1, Deathly Hallows Part 2, Half-Blood Prince, Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and finally, Goblet of Fire. There you go. There it is, Levi. How do you feel about that ranking? Feeling good?
I'm okay with that. All right, I agree.
Next week, we'll make you do this for Star Wars. No. People would just, it would not be good. Anyway, we're going to move on. That was just kind of fun. We didn't have a ton of news this week, so I thought we'd play a little game and kind of get into it a bit. And hopefully, Levi, I'll never make you pick between 3 and 4 for sure, forever, but maybe one day. Hard. If you had to pick one to represent the whole thing, though, to show, if you only could show one to a person, who would you show?
I would show 3 because it's a good I think it's a good introductory film to it.
Yeah, 4 would be
4 and it's too much. Yeah,
4 they'd be like, what is happening? Like schools are coming out of the ground.
Listen, 1 and 2 really have a special place in my heart still. I'm not saying they don't. They started it all. They're cute, but they're for me, they just didn't age as well.
Yeah. I like how 4 ends though, where it's like Bobatons goes and then Durmstrang has the ship and goes in the water. Because the end of 3 is like that shot of Harry and it's like pulled back and he's like, it's like, oh, you got a cool broomstick. What was the name of it? There was the
Firebolt.
Firebolt. Quimbus 2000, I think, was the one he had before that. Then everyone got that one. Harry's like, I've got a Firebolt.
Yeah. And broomsticks when nobody cared about him anymore.
Harry was like in such a weird position because like his parents were dead but left him a ton of money. So people made fun of him for being like this legend, and there are like all these kind of shady figures surrounding him. And then Sears sends him that, and it's like, Harry, are you getting like illegal like brooms and stuff, man? It seems kind of cheap that they're like brooms that are faster than other brooms. Like other kids couldn't afford them. Yeah, good stuff. Why didn't the Wizards ever play Quidditch against each other like school wide? Besides just like the houses. Like how our schools played against our school. Yeah, they should have done that. Where's the Bobatons team, man?
That's what the cup is for, or the World Cup.
I know. I want it like in the schools. All the schools to play. Where's the Ilvermorny school? All right. Anyway, we're moving on to that segment of the show that we like to call Time Killers. That's right. It's time for Time Killers. The games we've been playing, movies we've been watching, TV shows we've been viewing. Levi, what have you been killing time with?
I'm still trying to finish Pokemon, believe it or not.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I finally just got the Celadon badge. So.
Whoa, nice.
I know, I kind of slept on that game. Like, I started it off, and I think I had played so much of Pokemon Go that it's just like, I don't know. What did you think about that game?
Oh, Pokemon Let's Go?
Yeah, did you finish it?
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think I reviewed it like on the podcast because I didn't do like a separate review for it. I think Pokemon Let's Go is really fun. It's a really nice tribute to the older games, and yes, it is like a remake of Yellow. I've had people, they're like, it's actually like a remake of Yellow, not Red and Blue. I'm like, all right, well, I didn't have Yellow because I don't know, Levi, if you were me, but we had a friend who had Yellow, and it was after like he got Blue or Red, and I always associated Yellow with like the cake eaters. I was always like, oh, the Richies get to play Yellow because Yellow's the easy path. You get freaking Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. I'm like, screw that noise. It's like the Hard Knock Life Charmander on Blue version. But yeah, it's fun. I will say it was kind of weird not to battle the Pokemon, but there were enough trainers where I didn't feel like I was missing it. And I did like seeing them in the environment. That was so cool to me. A lot of like one-hit fights though. Like if you fought those ace trainers who were like they had like there's one who had like a Doug trio and it was like the fastest freaking Doug trio and it would just earthquake in one shot every Pokemon I had and I was like,
yeah,
oh my
it can
god.
sometimes be hard. Yeah, I appreciate the detail in all the stores. I mean, it's the closest yet that we've gotten to a that next level Pokemon. So
Yep.
There's a lot that I appreciate about it. I'm glad that you're saying these things because I know you were like, meh, like I'm,
I was at first I was against it. I was like, oh come on, where's the real? But this one was good, and the music was also extraordinary. It was stellar. It was so good. Like even though you don't have the bicycle because you can like ride the Pokemon, and Haunter, by the way, looks ridiculous when you ride it. Haunter shouldn't be that big. But you go and like
I don't know why.
So and I know people are like he's gaseous. I'm like no. Some of the sizes were like incredibly off. But again, this is just in my head. If you go through the tunnels, they'll play like the bike music. Like I love that. I'm like I think that's the bike music. I don't know.
Voltorb does not need to be as big as it is.
Which one?
Voltorb.
Oh, is he huge?
Huge. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Anyway, did you ever go back and do the master trainer stuff?
No, and apparently they've got one for every single Pokemon. I was like, you've got like that is so much stuff. Like, oh my god, how do you
really like endgame shit like that? So I can appreciate that they put something like that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to get to
I'm the master trainer of Caterpie, bitch. Like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah. You gotta get to Fuchsia though, so you can get your Pokemon from Pokemon Go in there.
Yeah, how does that work? Did you do it at all?
You got to get down there. Jesse and James made a joke about it because they were like, they were confused at how it worked, which was great. But I got down there. I didn't do it because I don't have Pokemon Go. But you go there, Safari Zone is gone, and that's there instead.
So can you catch like Chanseys there and like?
No, you can catch.
How do you get those?
You can catch a chunky Chansey in a few different places, and if you catch a big old Chansey, let me tell you this. That's the best way to get some experience points, baby. Because like your numbers will shoot. Like everyone skyrockets when you catch a big Chansey. Oh yeah. I didn't find Scyther in the wild though. I was looking for it. I was like, where are you, Scyther? Like I didn't catch my Scyther. I love Scyther because you can't buy them from the casino. Casino, all the gambling's gone.
I saw that. I thought maybe I was like, where's my coin purse? But
no, I think it's because of the times. They don't want kids gambling anymore. And I was like, I get it. Like I can't. Like okay,
I never even thought that was gambling back then. I was just like,
as a kid, I was like, and I usually didn't gamble because I thought it was a waste of coins. So I'd buy enough of those tokens, and then I just go buy the Pokemon. I'd have enough money. I'm like,
go buy.
Yep.
I probably could name them. It was like Abra, Dratini, and it was like.
Do you like the catching mechanic? Does it feel pretty similar to you from like Pokemon Go, or do you like it better, worse?
I play it a lot on the handheld, and I like that you can move it and then click it and it'll like shoot out like a cannon.
See, I didn't know that.
Good. Yeah.
I never played it on handheld. Not once.
Try it and just see what it's like because you move it to where the Pokemon is. Click A and it just and it does and then it shoots out for you.
Maybe I will because I want to go back and catch Zapdos and Articuno. Those
you didn't do that?
No, I caught Moltres and Mewtwo are kind of on like the crit path, and catching Mewtwo is kind of like the final thing you do. But I haven't caught them yet. And I did like that with them, you had to do it old school. You had
to go into the power plant, and didn't you have to go into the ice?
Seafoam Islands and power plant are optional.
Really?
Yes. That's why I went back in the day when I was a little kid, and I remember that being one of the coolest things. They're like, oh my god, you gotta catch Zapdos. I'm like, where's Zapdos? And they're like, well, it's like you leave Cerulean and before you go into Rock Tunnel, it's like on the waterway. And I was like, what? Like no. And I found it and I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah. I remember that from Gold and Silver too. That like Lugia, those games. I mean, some stuff is just super obscure that you would never, as a kid, figure out if you did not have a guide.
Nope.
How the hell would you know that Lapras just appears on Fridays? You wouldn't know.
Wait, Lapras appears on Fridays?
Yeah, Lapras appears on Fridays in Union Cave.
Oh, so, this is in Gold and Silver?
In Gold and Silver. So during the week, I'd be like, oh, I'm so excited for Friday get here so that I can go catch Lapras. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then on Mondays, and see, I have the guide.
Sick.
I went through the whole thing. Clefairies come out and dance around the Moonstone on a certain day, certain time. Yep.
Like, can you see them dancing?
Yep. They come out in the dance, and this is in Gold and Silver. Yeah, you got to look it up. Look at all the like. Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know how to find Articuno. I know it's in the Seafoam Islands, but I'm like, I don't know which one it's in. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's hard.
like it's over there.
Do you think they're gonna make a Let's Go Heart like gold and silver?
I think this one sold really well, so I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know,
play those.
yeah, probably will too. Especially now that I've got a Switch, it just makes sense that they should just do it. It's like the people who get angry at Disney for doing remakes. This is the same thing. It's like, why wouldn't they? It's easy money and people love it. Yep. So not maybe everybody. I can't say that everybody loves this. I can't say everybody loves Disney's remakes, but a lot of people. It's profitable.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know that. I wish you. Do you like playing games with guides? Like, you don't really do that anymore.
I don't do it anymore, but like back in the day, like playing Golden Sun, I felt like without one was super hard.
Oh, I never beat Final Boss.
Frustrated, and I'd be like, nope.
I think I had to ask Leo to like beat it for him. I was like, how do you have to beat these two, and then they turn to a dragon? You have to beat the dragon? I was like, double bosses in RPGs freak me out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no.
So doing that, I just finished a game for Switch. What did I just finish? What was I just playing? And I just finally beat it.
Animal Crossing.
No.
Kidding.
Oh, Smash Bros.
You beat the World of Light?
I beat the World of Light.
Oh, I'm still close to the World of Light ending, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is very grindy. I'm in Dracula's castle. Like,
oh yeah, you're getting there. I mean, kinda, yeah. I'm playing Chrono Trigger. A lot of fun. I'm gonna have to get like a Final Fantasy fix after that.
Play FF10 with the guide.
I'm really excited that the Zodiac Age is coming to Switch.
Oh my god! Don't Missile Mage is listening to this right now. He's freaking out. Missile Mage loves FF12 more than life itself. Oh, FF8, I should say, is his favorite than 12.
So. Missile Mage, I will be happy to stream Zodiac Age for you. You can hold me to that right now.
don't hold him to it. He said he'd do Fallout 76. He lies.
Nobody wanted that, okay?
I want an angry review, man. I want just like a 1 out of 10. Like,
get one. Here, how much time we got? All right. No. Just kidding. I'm very excited to play Zodiac Age. I didn't get to play it back in its time. I have tried playing. I don't know if it's me. I've tried playing Final Fantasy X multiple times. I appreciate Titus. I appreciate that world. I can't get into it.
That's because you haven't given it a good enough shot.
I've tried starting at like at least, 3 different occasions.
I think it's on Switch already, by the way, FF12.
I don't think it comes out till April. Did you double check that?
I'm checking right now.
Zodiac Age?
I was gonna say March 16th, 2006. Oh my god. No, that was when it originally released.
Zodiac Age will be coming out. Let's see.
Oh, you're right. April, or is it March?
Yeah, I thought it was April, because this is the first one, right, that they're doing?
April 30th, 2019. Yep, you're right, because this is their big push for all the...
Yeah, because they're bringing them all over, right?
They're skipping FF8, though, which is real sad.
What are they all bringing?
It was 7, 9, 10, and 12, because 11 was the online one. Why are they
skipping 8? Is that the one with Squall?
Yeah, so there's something weird about FF8 where, first off, it wasn't super beloved, and I think it was like a coding thing, or like it's harder to get that stuff, or there's some sort of like licensing reasoning why they haven't remade that game a ton. I don't know the specifics, but that's the reason why, I think.
Which is funny because it's like Kingdom Hearts chose Squall. You know what I mean? Out of any character.
They call him Leon and all that crap, and it's like...
Well, Titus is on the Destiny Islands, isn't he?
Yeah, he is as a kid. Dude, 10, you got to give it another shot, baby. Go with the guidebook.
How much do I have to play to get into
it? If you don't like it, that's fine. I just love the summons.
Here's the thing, I really want to like it.
The characters aren't super likable except for Auron.
Like, is there a certain part where you're like, oh, this is cool, so I can do this spell? Or like, that's usually what hooks me in a game like that.
Yeah, once I started like amassing my summons, that's when I was like, yep.
Got it. Okay.
That's what I played with like all the time. I love oh my god, the summons. I love them so freaking much. Sorry.
And 10, are they bringing 10 to Switch?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, if they bring 10 to Switch, I'll give it another go. And you said they're bringing 9? I love 9.
Yeah, so... a lot of people love 9. I weirdly, because I associate with some of our friends from high school, Levi. Yeah. I like love it, but then also I'm like, I kind of hate it because it's one of those things. It's hard for me to like. I'm like, oh, this person talked about this game so much, and I played it. It was good, but
I would get yelled at by so many people for this. I played a bastardized version of 9 on my old Thunderbolt on my phone.
Yeah, I remember this.
It was a ROM, and I enjoyed it so much. But
Did you beat the whole game?
No, my crash saved, and I had to start all over. And I was like, I can't start this game all over because I was like 3 discs in.
If I remember correctly, the first time you started 9, you're like, I hate this game. We're like, how far did you get? You're like, I didn't get out of the forest. We're like, that's the beginning of the game, and you're like.
But that's when I actually played it for PlayStation though.
Okay.
This was on my phone. So when I was at Walmart working, I was supposed to be working, and I would like run in the back and I started playing, and nobody found me.
How did you do that with an RPG? It's like on your phone. It's like,
well, because I worked in like the vision center, so there was like a office that I worked in, so I could kind of sneak in the back with the files and like. Sure. If I heard a customer come up, I'd peek out. But like,
you wouldn't worry about anybody seeing you because any customer would be like, "I can't see. I need help with my vision."
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. The perfect crime. Victimless.
Anyway, how did we start this tangent? Oh, I'm gonna need a Final Fantasy fix after Chrono's done. And then I'm also playing. I just picked up God of War, so I'm gonna be playing that soon. I'm still playing Overwatch.
Are you gonna pick up Kingdom Hearts?
I'm gonna pick up Kingdom Hearts.
There's your Final Fantasy fix.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Tales of Vesperia. I have a lot on my list this year. It's gonna be a good year. And then Shonen Jump.
Oh, Jump Force
is entering beta.
Yeah, I want to play the demo.
Yeah, is it out?
I don't know. I don't think so.
But I know that
If they have a demo.
IGN got access to like the Japanese version of the beta, and they were fighting people online. It looked really cool. Yeah, that's it for me. I mean, it's a lot.
Cool.
Trying to do a lot, so
yeah, don't overdo it. Take time for you.
Well, it's like I go through like this hibernation period between like October and like mid-January. So now that I'm like over that, I'm like, yeah, games again.
Sure.
So.
All right. Let's see. For me, I probably already linked it before, but you guys should check out our top 10 Final Fantasy summons list we made a long time ago. You'll never guess who's number 1. You really won't. For me, though, I've been playing Chrono Trigger with Levi. We're working on that show, so I've been playing that. I finally wrapped up I'm kind of just stepping away from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I put over 60 hours into this game. It's so long. It's almost, you know what, I'll say this. It's too much. I finally played a game where I'm like, there's too much stuff in this because it's just too much. And it felt very grindy towards the end for me. I like the levels I was fighting, they were like the end of the game was like 50 and I was 48 when I beat the game, and it felt very tough because I had to do side quests and I didn't really want to, but it's still a fun game.
Assassin's Creed games?
Am I what?
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do next week and make you rank your Assassin's Creed games.
Oh my god, dude, yes, do it. Assassin's Creed has just changed so much, and I understand that, and I like some things about it and I don't like other things, but yeah, so I'm playing that and play a little bit of Just Cause 4. Man, I am like having such a hard time with Just Cause 4. It feels like such a slog and it doesn't feel fun, like, which is really sad because that game's supposed to just be fun. Really bums me out. I'm really excited. Anthem's coming up. I'm going to play that on Friday. Leave, I don't know if you want, I might have like, they might give us like demo codes because I pre-ordered it. So if I have a demo code, I'll send one your way. So you
let me know. I want to check it out.
If you're on this weekend. I was telling Leo about it too, because Leo hadn't heard about this. And I was like, I think you would eat this game up. I was like, it's like Monster Hunter, but Iron Man suits. And he's like, and I'm like, and it's by BioWare, you know, those guys you love. And he's like, dude, yes. Because he doesn't follow games like we do. So when I bring this new thing to him, he's like, what is this amazing new thing? Because I'm like,
I remember I think it was like 2 months ago, I messaged everybody in our group of friends and I was like, hey, who wants to play the new Smash? And like, somebody was like, I don't know what that is, but like, what?
Like, oh, I'm so sorry. How does that work if I brought my Switch to like your house to play Smash? Could I like connect to you wirelessly?
You can. Okay. We can also fight like right now if you wanted to.
I know, but I don't have the online yet. I still didn't. I got to buy that so we can do the tourney thing. Because I want to do the Legionnaires. I still want to do the tourney. If you guys want to play Smash tourney in one of these weekends, I really want to set it up where we can play. Maybe we could stream it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to like commentate. Could I like set it up and not fight anybody and like commentate the whole thing?
I bet you can.
I'm gonna try to figure that out. I'm working on it. Last thing I want to mention, Finished watching Once Upon a Time. Last season is pretty bad. Last two episodes are pretty good because it's like a series finale. So hit me a little bit because I was like, man, 7 seasons of the show. So obviously I feel a little bit of something for it. But I also watched 10 episodes of this new show on NBC I wanted to watch a while ago. It's on Netflix now, called Good Girls. 3 of these women, all parents, and that decide that they need money. And so they rob a bank. Or sorry, they don't rob a bank, they rob a grocery store. And they find out that they actually robbed a grocery store where a drug cartel was like getting money. So they get like involved with them. So it's kind of like a little Breaking Bad-ish in there too, where it's like we got to get the money, the ends justify the means. But pretty funny. It's a dramedy. So there's like some comedy, but there's some drama. Mae Whitman, who I love from Parenthood. She was also the voice of Katara, I believe, from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, it's a pretty good show. I like it. It's only 10 episodes right now. The second season's coming. It's not like over the top great, but I still found it to be pretty interesting. There's a few moments where I actually laughed out loud. And yeah, it also has oh gosh, I don't remember her name. She's from Parks and Rec. She's the treat yourself lady. She's like, treat yourself. Like,
oh, I love her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty funny in it, but she also has a few moments where she actually gets to be serious because she actually has range, which is great. So she's got a pretty interesting story, and she's married to a cop. So there's like this kind of like, oh no. So if you like Breaking Bad and you want something a little less intense than that, I would recommend checking it out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. But now it's time to move into my favorite segment of the show, community feedback and questions. Yes, let me do a timestamp so I don't forget. Levi, this is so good. Some weeks I'm like, man, are we going to be able to fill an hour? It's like, man, you're going to fill more than an hour. Don't you worry about it. All right. So, Levi, I asked our lovely Legionnaires, what critically panned game do you love to this day and why? # critical podcast. That's how you reach us. Levi, is there a game, we talked about this in the past, like game that people like critically hated, but you're like, man, I love this game.
I know Legend of Dragoon was...
Did that get critically panned?
It was critically... I wouldn't say critically panned, but it didn't do well.
Underrated.
Yeah, it was very underrated. It's more of a cult game now. That's one of them. But I know, like, if you look up things on like what people have said about it before, the critics didn't love it.
Oh so. Man, legendary! Like, so ahead of its time with its combos and stuff. Ugh, it's like I wonder if they would have put Final Fantasy in front of it. If they would have just called it Final Fantasy Legend of Dragoon, if it would have sold like hotcakes, people would be like, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else.
I think at launch it got pretty good reviews, but for me, it's probably like Evolve. Like now people just like it's dead, but like for a while there, I still have like a love for that game, and I think about it from time to time. I'm like, oh, yeah. Evolve.
It was kind of like our gateway into next gen, in a way.
In a way, sure. Yeah. This one comes in from Missile Mage. She says, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia. The gameplay, am I saying that right? Almia? The gameplay is simple. The story is heavy with tropes. It's cheesy at parts, and some of the quests can be time-consuming. I just find it to be super fun. So much so that I've 100%ed it twice. Holy
wow.
Hashtaginist writes in, Dragon's Dogma, in all caps. But then our friend, Avado Gamer, he says, and why? And then Hashtaginist says, because it's the best game in the world. Right.
Dragon's Dogma, is that the game that's coming to Switch?
Yes, it is, and which is basically like their way of saying, like, does anybody want a Dragon's Dogma 2? Like, it's very much when they do that on Switch, I'm like, that's all I hear.
I really like all these ports that are coming to Switch because I had a choice. I was like, can I pick up Tales of Vesperia for PS4, Xbox, or Switch? And I was like, well, Switch, then I can take it with me on the go.
Yeah, you know? And I think it's good. And it's not only for like checking out for sequels, because what it also is saying that other publishers are looking at the Switch and saying, okay, it's obviously done really well and we can support it now. Because there are some who at first were like, I'm not going to touch that. But Ubisoft, I think, was one of the first ones who was like, yeah, we'll partner with you. Like, yeah, Switch. So good for them. And this one comes in from my buddy, Corey Lang, or Lang_Corey on Twitter. He says, it's a tie between The Order 1886 and Rise, Son of Rome, both underappreciated.
Wow.
Were they both launch titles?
They were, but 1886 was, I wouldn't say it was critically panned.
I think he's saying it's underappreciated, which is fine. Was it an actual launch title, or did it come a few bits after?
I don't think it was a launch title, but I think it was really close. It was one of the big, next gen games.
Yeah, I love Corey. Thank you. That's a good one because both have such a that fresh new gen like smell to them when you go and you
Yeah.
check them out. I think Rise just had better mechanics. That game just felt good, but it's so linear. But so is Order. Order is just so gosh darn pretty. Like they're both pretty games, but Order is like, look at how pretty we can make a game.
Yeah.
And I wish that game could have gotten fleshed out. Such a cool lore, like the whole Knights of the Round fighting Lycans and stuff, and vampires were kind of dropped, like name dropped. It's like, oh, so cool. Good pick.
Can't think of anything else really that's panned.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that like at launch was hated, and I was like, man, I didn't think it was that bad.
Destiny?
No, Destiny, that was like my game, my first Xbox One game. That was like my intro into it.
I actually liked Diablo 3 a lot.
From the beginning?
From the beginning. I didn't care about all its problems. But I feel like that was pretty critically panned at first, and now it's a full game. But
yep. And selfishly, you should go check out my Diablo 4 wishlist. Diablo 4 wishlist. It's coming. It's coming, baby. After they make that mobile game. Right?
The link is in the description.
Yeah, I should do that too. I'm with you, man. Like, I played a little bit of Diablo 2, but I found that one so restrictive.
I never played the other Diablos. Yeah.
So basically in that one, you got like ability points and you had skill trees, and then you could like put points into them. But if you were a wizard or a sorceress, we'll say, you could put them into any skill tree, but you had to like kind of build your way down. So you could like screw yourself early on by putting like kind of points like spread out. You had to like really commit to just one tree for the most part. I'm not saying that you couldn't do that with other, I'm sure people are really good at it, but I like the flexibility. I get where it is annoying that you get every spell, right? Like it's kind of like I didn't earn this like ice tornado because I use just fire spells with like the wizard in Diablo 3. But at the same time, it is nice to be like, oh, I could switch it at any time and like, you know, play with that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I'm with you, man. Diablo 3. I like that game a lot. I put a lot of hours into it too.
Me too. I don't even want to know how many hours I put into it over the last, what has been 5 years.
And the thing is, I go back to it like,
yep.
Like once a year, every 2 years, I'll like just hop in and play for like a week. I'm like, yes, I love it. Then I'm just like, I beat the campaign again. Like, yeah, I don't like grind and stuff. Hopefully Anthem will do that better though. We'll see. Yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard. Let's move into the questions here so we can wrap up the old show. All right. Let's start with a more serious one here from Eucalyptus or Simon. In the latest video from NoClip, hashtag not sponsored, hashtag Danny O'Dwyer, do you want to be on the show with us sometime? There's an interview with the director of God of War 2018, Cory Barlog. Cory, please come on the show. Where he talks about directing God of War. He talks about the movie industry and compares it to the video game industry, where in the early days of movies, the movies were more about figuring out technically how to do things and wowing people with the technicality of the movies instead of the emotional impact. He then compares it to the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s of video games, where it's all about wowing people with fun gameplay mechanics and then 3D and then bigger and bigger worlds, etc. But how now the games are trying to do more things to affect people in a more emotional way. Do you think it's an accurate comparison? And what do you see the future of video games design will look like? Yeah, he said, I've condensed the part very much in this question. Here's the video for reference. So Levi, what do you think? Do you think that's an apt comparison between movies and games?
Emotion? Or
well, like how movies and games also, like it's not the same timeline exactly, but movies kind of like wanted to show how technical they could be, and now it's more about like the emotion, whereas like video games for a while was like all about like Super Mario 64. Oh my god, look how crazy it is. But now it's like,
yeah, I feel like they really I don't know if like Final Fantasy it was like the start of that, where they started like really building a story. Is it Final Fantasy would be like the first actual big games to start telling a story?
I don't want to say that for sure, because I'm sure someone
like early RPGs, and but yeah, I mean, I immediately think of like Last of Us, and I think of
that's what Cory was saying in this video from NoClip. He was saying like the Last of Us. He's like, there's probably other games that did this, but he's like, the Last of Us is like the first like game to make such a big splash, and saying like, yeah, it's gonna be a really cool game, but it's also gonna tell like a really big emotional story that's gonna be like the center. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good comparison, but I think that's just human nature, right? Like with all this art, we kind of want to go for like, what can we do on a technical level with these mediums first and say like, all right, let's push that as far as we can go, and then we can start to refine it. Like it's kind of like clay, where it's like you want to make like the biggest pot possible, and then you're like, man, I can make like an 80-foot tall pot, but it doesn't look super good. But like, oh my god, look at that pot, like and that's like the open world, right? But now it's like, and then the people from like Guerrilla Games come and they like start shaving it and they start making it, and then you get like Horizon Zero Dawn. You're like, that's a good looking pot, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh my god, it's 80 feet tall still, right? And they're like, it is, and you're like, how do you do it? It's like if you look away from the pot isn't there. When you look at it again, it's there. Oh, okay. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good description. The question is, do you think we're gonna keep getting this like, really hardcore, emotional, impactful stuff now? Is that going to be like the more of the norm going on? Is Mario going to like be like, oh, I'm a sorry Bowser? Like, is there going to be like that? And there's like this
I feel like it's going to have to be, especially like at least for RPGs. Like they have to keep pushing their stories to be better, or people aren't going to be as interested.
Here's the really question, because like the Mario is kind of a joke. Do you think they would make like the next or future Zeldas with Link and have him be fully voiced and like an actual character?
I don't know. They could. I mean, the series is now finally comfortable with breaking itself. So
the what is?
The series is now comfortable with breaking itself. So I
think, which I loved. Thank God, that was so nice for me. People are like, where are my dungeons? I'm like,
it's like when a band puts out a new album. It's like, if you wanted some of that, go listen to their last 6 albums. You can hear all the same shit. Try something new. Bring me the Horizon. I'm talking about you. Anyway.
Mantra, right? Is that
the one? Yes, people are so mad.
Oh, really? I like it.
Yeah, because I do too. But yeah.
Okay, so you think that might be the way for RPGs? I think you're right. I'm kind of thinking like you look at like the next Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 16 and stuff, and how 15, obviously development hell and stuff. That's 4 characters, and it was so focused in on them and like their story and kind of fleshing that out in the DLC and stuff, which they probably should have done in the main game more so. But I wonder if they'll do that instead of having a cast of like 40, like Suikoden style or whatever. It's just like you just really just kind of like focus.
Final Fantasy 16.
What?
Is there going to be a Final Fantasy 16?
Yes, they will keep 15. I think sold pretty well too.
Yeah.
Man, I'm interested to see that though. But at the same time, I don't want video games to take themselves too seriously constantly. That's why I wish games like Just Cause 4 were still so much fun, because that's what they were. Like Devil May Cry. I hope Devil May Cry doesn't ever get to a point where Dante's like, and Devil May Cry 2 I think does this, but like it's like, I'm so sad and emotional. Like I want games there that are just to be fun. It's like movies. Like I still want my comedies, but I want my dramas too, it's weird. And you look at God of War, where God of War, and Corey, was talking about this, like the first games were all about like, how big can we make this? How crazy can we make this? And now it's like, how emotional can we make it now?
Yeah, it's weird. Video games are in a weird area right now where it's like, I feel like people keep trying to make the best game, but they're having a really hard time figuring out everything that needs to go into that game. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is a amazing game, but it's not an end-all be-all game. It's not like you can do everything you want in that game, right? Like, am I wrong?
Oh, you're totally right. That's such a good way of putting it, man, because like
it's weird, but it's not like you could do that, because you can't put an RTS in Red Dead Redemption 2. You can't put a Star Wars game in Red Dead 2. It's hard. You can't have one of everything. But maybe someday they will make a game that's like, this is literally,
Yeah, I think that's the problem though, is it would just conflict too much. Like you can't have everything.
The best RPG ever, where you literally can choose anything you want to do in the game. Like this isn't like next level shit. Like but like if you wanted the game to be an RTS, it can be an RTS. If you wanted the game to be like a RPG, like a turn-based, you can do that. Like it'd be crazy, but it'd be cool to see, so many genres jam-packed into one,
That's true. I feel like people who are watching this right now, they're like, oh, that game Dreams? That's what that game is. Like, just make whatever game you want.
Yeah.
I think that trying to do everything, that's where people start to fall short.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Rockstar, where you can really tackle a lot of things because you have the money. But the thing is, the best, it's so subjective. It's all art. And so many people have said like, you know, God of War is the best game of this year. Or some people say like Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best game. But like you look at it's like the best game. Like, okay, both third person, both killing a lot. One is about a Greek god who goes to like Norse godland and fights a bunch of people. One's about like an outlaw in the old west. Like it's so different. Like, you know, it's so hard to be like this one. That's why awards are so funny to me, because it's like we're literally comparing like apples and oranges now, but they're all at the grocery store. So it's like, well, you must pick the best grocery store item. It's like
That's why I chose Monster Hunter, because like I have a lot of respect for Red Dead Redemption 2. It's beautiful. It's too much. I feel like it's way too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. I just don't have the time to really sink into that and play, and just I almost feel like you do the same thing maybe.
Yeah, the campaign is it's so long. It's so long.
Too, like it's great, but it's not. I don't know. Monster Hunter's awesome because it's huge, but it's also contained where like you can get something done in a night and you know be happy about it.
Yeah, it kind of strikes a nice balance in there that there's like a little bit of story, and Monster Hunter's story isn't great by any stretch. It's fine. But you can kind of run out and kind of MMO it, and you'd be like, all right, tonight I'm going to grind for this one thing. I'm going to get this armor, this weapon, and I'm good. I can step away from it, and then I'll use that armor and weapon to go after this next thing. And it's just like so repetitive, but it's always different. Like the act of grinding in that game doesn't feel like grinding. Like in most MMOs, like you're like, oh, I got to kill this thing like 1,000 times and hope for like a drop. In this one, it's like, no, it's a pretty good chance you're going to get what you want, and you can like use vouchers and things to make it specific, or focus on the horn if you need to get the horn. You know, like you can make these things happen yourself, which is so good. Like, and that intrinsic quality feels so good. You know, that's why.
This is a random question. Did they ever like upscale Monster Hunter for Xbox One X users?
I don't know if they did do any of that stuff, because I would be interested to see what if that game looks even better on other things. I'm like, I'm just waiting for the next one. Like, hopefully it's like Anthem level of like look, be like, oh, just like Monster Hunter is a good looking game, but like,
well, it might, you know.
Oh my god, I'll be like, like, please, here's my money. Iceborne expansion, please come now. Yeah, I'm excited. I
think it's the year we're still talking about that game, but it really just came out of nowhere and flooded.
Like the fact that like someone like me who loves this sort of thing really got into it, and I love monsters. And I remember I showed my mom the game of the year video before it went out, because she's kind of like Mom, come over and you're gonna see this. And she before it even got to the end, I kind of was like, hey Mom, which one did you think was gonna be? She's like, oh, the monster one. And I was like, why that? And she's like, I know you like monsters. And I was like, it's like, well, there's a vote, but like I love monsters and stuff. But Joe, that like doesn't like RPGs. He loves to shoot things and not think about things. Like that's Joe. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like this game requires you to be intelligent. Like it's like, hey man, you gotta pick the right weapons or you're gonna suck. Like, and he got so into it. Like he was just like, I want to get the Odegaard armor and all this stuff. It's like, and plus, because it's third person, unlike Destiny, like that makes such a big difference. Like looking at your character and really customizing them and changing the color and all that. Like
in a way, that's what made World of Warcraft so popular to me back then, is like looking at all the gear sets that like level 60.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I want that giant stalker armor. It's like, I'm gonna get that someday.
Yep. That's why in the next Monster Hunter, when they have a giant hub world where everybody hangs out and we all have pets, like a pet Toby Kadachi that's like platinum or gold, and someone goes by riding it, you'd be like, where'd you get the golden Toby Kadachi? You'll be like, I'll be like, I'll be like wearing some sick, like black, crazy horned armor. I'll be like, where did you get that? You'd be like, well, I had to fight like the new like Omega Nergigante like 10 times, but it was totally worth it. I'll be like, oh my god. Man, I'm just excited about that. But then that's like, that feels good to us though, right? But like other people love to have just like this movie cinematic experience in like Uncharted or God of War, where it's like, okay, it's single, player, you're going through very narrow, but this is like the story and you're the character in the movie. And I get the appeal there too. Like that's really cool to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so hard. It's so hard to say like the best game. The good thing is that we're all winning because like we all get all the cool games. It's not like they came to us at the beginning of the year, they're like, all right, Levi, pick one game this year and that's all you get. And you're like, oh, Red Dead? Like you're like, it's good. Like yeah. Oh, Man, video games. We're living in like the best time of games, though. I feel like it's just we're hitting that fever pitch at the end of this console generation where it's just the best games. They're just coming out, just like in your face, like pushing the hardware to its limit. Do you think you'll be in like day one on new consoles though, Levi?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Right now I think it's really hard for me to think about the next consoles because the Xbox is finally at a place, like Xbox One is finally at a place where you have all the games you could ever want, backwards compatible, and right now in one system. It's taken a long time for, I feel like, to get there, and that makes me feel really weird that, like, this whatever system comes next better be able to handle all this shit, or I'm gonna be so pissed because I'm sick of having like multiple consoles.
Yeah. You mean like you want the backwards compatibility still?
Yeah, I just want it to be seamless. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy your damn new product. I don't care if it looks.
Well, you sent me that thing about the diskless like Xbox that's coming up or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. The Maverick or whatever it's called. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Going digital
for sure.
I think that's really cool. The big thing is though that with Xbox, PlayStation lovers out there are like, oh my gosh, they don't have a good first party lineup. And I get that. To some degree, they don't have their Uncharted or their God of War. Like, is Fable going to be that for them? When they inevitably reboot it, are they going to be like, all right, let's take this really seriously? You're like, this is Fable now. Like, it's not quirky British humor anymore. It's like, this is a sad world where magic has ruined us all, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what people are looking for. So I wonder if Xbox will try to launch with something like that.
What? Yeah, when is that rumored? Like, are we supposed to get new consoles this year? Or
rumored because Sony's not going to be at E3. I think it would be so stupid of them not to do this, but I think they will unveil this year. Microsoft. I think at E3 they will say, "Here is our new console. The whole stage is ours. Nintendo Switch is already out there. Here it is." Yeah. I think that's when they'll announce Banjo-Kazooie too and Smash.
You're right. So,
huh?
PS5 is rumored for this year.
I think it's. No, it might be 2020.
Okay.
Because PlayStation's kind of pulled back on some of their shows, and unless they do like a out of nowhere show, also they can kind of look at Xbox that way and analyze.
Consoles?
Huh?
Like, that's the thing. Do we need new consoles? Like,
that's the question. I don't know if we ever like need new consoles, but I think we're starting to get to that point where the games have pushed the limitations of them so far.
Yeah.
That they need to like. Some developers are all right.
PS4 Pro is for and the Xbox One X, like.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a phone upgrade. It's like the iPhone, 4S or something.
I understood going from PS3 to PS4. I understood going from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. You just can't get that,
I think the biggest jump still, and I know for a lot of people, because gaming, some of the stuff was before our time, Levi. But like the jump from, the 16-bit to freaking Super Mario 64. I feel like you just can't top that jump, like, or that 32-bit, and you're like, okay, something flat to something like this. But that jump from like that to the high def, standard def to high def, like that's huge too. I mean, the first time we saw Gears of War, it was like, what are we looking at? Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. You make a good point.
Anything really impacted me that much on the Xbox One or PS4. I don't think anything was really as crazy jarring and like, oh my god, that's so.
I guess for me it was like Horizon Zero Dawn. I think was the thing that I was like, this is how the whole world looks. Like it was like,
yeah, I guess check it out.
It is ridiculously gorgeous and detailed, and the enemies are so cool, and like, it's such a cool game. It's not perfect, but it's really good.
Okay.
Arrows could use a little work. For some reason, Assassin's Creed Origins had great arrows. Anyway.
I just, because like going from 360 or going from like Xbox to Xbox 360, like it had a lot of stuff. Like it had Gears, and it had.
Yeah, and Halo, like the jump for Halo from Halo 2 to 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like.
Holy crap, look at the graphics. Like I get that, but nothing was like so over the top for me in this generation.
I think it's hard to wow us in this one because we've seen so many things. It's so like we've seen
like scarred veterans.
Yeah, that's true. Well, like for me, after playing like Ocarina of Time recently, and then playing like Breath of the Wild, I was like, oh my god, like, climbing everywhere. Like the mechanic of that alone, I'm like, every game should do this. I know it would break like every game besides Breath of the Wild, but I was like, that's so cool. He just climbed a mountain. Like that reinstilled like why I loved playing Super Mario 64 in those games. I was like, I get to explore. Like I literally get to explore. It's not like you can explore. It's like, no, you can explore. Like you climb anything. Oh God.
I feel like this generation though of consoles has really been ruined by like Fortnite, and like it becomes so kitsch and.
What? No, I feel like it's the opposite. It's like it's just become too popular.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, the opposite. Like it's just so overrated.
Yeah, and it's just like those games make so much money, and it's so weird because like I think back to League of Legends sometimes. I'm like, that game is in a space right now where it makes so much money. I just don't hear about it anymore. Like it's just like it's up there.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like League of Legends is like dead. Like I don't hear about it.
It's not. I think it's still like killing it. I think it's making like it's just doing super well. It's just like, oh wow, that's crazy.
I don't know anybody that plays it, so
if you just let go of a game or something like that or the internet for a while, you're like, oh, does that thing still exist?
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. I'm really hopeful though that the next console jump will be something really exciting and hopefully something really enticing, because unlike this console gen that was we launched a few years ago where we had like Rise, Son of Rome, and Order 1886, I hope that we launch with games that don't feel like, oh, this is like the demo for what this console can do. I want like that 40 or 50 hour RPG right out of the gate. You know, I want there to be that big like what if Cyberpunk 2077 launched not on these consoles but was first on the next ones? Like that's something I'd be like, all right, like I'm in. Like that would be,
yeah.
And think about that specialized console. Oh my god, I bet it looks good. Like Xbox Scarlet Cyberpunk version. I'd be like, yeah. The problem is I want to play God of War 2, and that'll be on in 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 will all be on PlayStation. Like it'll all be on PlayStation. It's like, yeah, man. I wish we could all share, but that's not the point, right? Xbox, Microsoft, it's your time to shine. Get those first parties. Lock Cuphead down. Yeah, Levi, Cuphead, man, right? That expansion's coming up.
I know that studio is looking at making a new game too. So
I heard, we're talking to one of the people who works there, and she was like, "Yeah, next thing is going to be pretty epic." And I was like, "Is it like open world Cuphead?" Like, I don't think they'd do that because it wouldn't make sense. But they made a good game. You gonna get that?
Studio?
Huh?
You talked to somebody from the studio?
No, I saw it was an interview.
Oh, gotcha.
That'd be sick. I wish they would return my calls. Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Do you think you'll get that expansion for Cuphead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, Cuphead, man. What a good game. See, that's one of Microsoft's games. Lock it down, Microsoft. Get Studio MDHR and just clamp it. All right.
Well,
Levi.
Only available for Xbox, right?
Yeah, and PC.
Okay, yeah.
Is it PC? I want to check because I don't want people to be like, I can play it on my PC, and they'll be like, you're an idiot. On PC.
That, but
yep, it's on Steam. 5 out of 5. 10 out of 10 rating. Oh my god. 88% Metacritic. 10 out of 10 Steam. Okay. Pretty good. Maybe Steam's not the best scores.
You'd be salty for a $20 game. You just can't.
It's just,
you can't.
So like we didn't even talk about that game much last year, but we still put it as one of our game of the years like contenders. It was like this game is so like just. But then again, we loved it. It was challenging, but like we love the look. If you don't love the look of this game, you're gonna hate it. It's like Persona 5. You don't like the look of Persona 5 from the box art, you're gonna hate that game. You're gonna be like, screw this. 100 hours.
I need to figure out how to get into that series because I keep hearing about it.
Dude, Persona 5, man, it's good.
Is that all I need? Do I have to play any?
That's what I did.
Do you have to know the other stories? Or?
No, they're all. It's like Final Fantasy. It's always different.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, you can start wherever you want.
I'll check it out.
The chat will help. They'll be better. They said 3 or 4. I don't remember which, but Persona 5 was literally, man, 100 hours on the low end.
Get the PSP, and I'm like, fuck that. Like,
no, but like 100 hours on the low end of this game. Like that was the required amount I had to put in.
Was it worth it?
A lot of time, huh?
Was it worth it?
Oh, you bet your sweet ass it was. It was, dude. I love it.
So Joker is a compelling enough character to bring.
Joker sucks. I mean, we're Joker, right? Like he does this a lot. He won't talk. He's just like.
So why make him a Smash character?
Huh?
Why make him a Smash character?
Because he's got a lot of style and he doesn't have to talk a lot. It's like Link, right?
Gotcha.
Right. Ryuji. I wish they would have put him in there. Let's tear him apart. Ryuji's so good. Oh my god. Ryuji, you have my heart, buddy. He stole it. Yeah, he makes sense for a Smash character though, and their stage will be so cool. I can't even. Oh, that stage's gonna be so hot. Oh, it's gonna be good. Anyway, let's wrap up the show here. If you guys ever have a question or a broader topic like ranking the Harry Potter films, just have to tweet at us. You just tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast to either of us. You can tweet our official account, which is at GoCritical, capital G and a capital C, or you can tweet at me personally. I'm at JimmyGood013. But if you'd like to tweet something kind of saucy over at Levi, where would they tweet you?
I'm at Lever, just like Beaver. No, I'm at Levi Fletcher.
I don't know why I always like do sultry and saucy. I like to shake it up a bit. If you want to support the show, consider going over to our Spreadshirt. You can find it up here and also in the links down below. Go buy a shirt. I'll have a shirt next time, I think. A new shirt that's coming in. Joe had a hat. Katie's got a sweatshirt. It's great. So if you get one of those, tweet us a picture. We want to see your lovely faces. It's good. And Levi and I kind of mentioned it maybe, I don't know, but we stream. We stream over at twitch.tv/critical reviews. I'm usually there Mondays and Fridays. Levi is usually there sometimes Wednesday nights, sometimes other days of the week, kind of changes with the schedule. We're basically trying to get to the point on Patreon, which I'll pitch that in a second, where we could both just do this all the time. So if you could tell people about it, that'd be great. Thanks to a few people who helped make the show possible. I want to thank Daleb for our theme music. I want to thank Yoren Evers, the guy who does pretty much all the art you see here on the channel. If you want to support Yoren, go check him out over at Mirage28 or at Jade Circle Art over on Twitter. But if you want to support him and myself, as I alluded to, and Levi and potentially Joe, head over to patreon.com/critical reviews. You can throw in even $1 there. You'll get your face drawn into, if you want, into our card game that we are making right now. You get to pick a stance, pick some kind of phrases that would be your attacks, as it were. And we're still working out the numbers, so don't worry about that. But yeah, even $1. But just sharing us around, seriously, like if you can copy the link from this video and tweet it out, or put it on a Facebook status, be like, here's a couple of guys ranking Harry Potter. I'm sure we'll make a lot of friends that way. All of our Ilvermorny friends, man, I can't. Ilvermorny. That helps a ton. Or just sub into us on YouTube, like here if you enjoyed this, or sub into us on Twitch. If you have a Amazon account, you have a free Prime membership sub that you can do. So if you don't know where else to throw it our way. We appreciate it. We use it to make the show better. You see this? This is because of you guys. You did this. Thank you for the new mic. Hopefully it sounds good. I hope it's working this week. Otherwise people will be like, yeah, idiot. Anyway, Levi, thank you. It was great having you on the show, pal. I appreciate it. I'm glad you got to write these things. Anything else you want to say to everybody before we sign off?
Bye. No, thanks. Thanks, guys, for checking us out. Come hang out with us on the stream sometimes. We're fun guys who love video games. So
that is such a good pitch, man. We're just fun guys who love video games. That's switching the names to.
Welcome to the game.
There it is. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Adapt and overcome. Bye.